Downtown Victoria buzzes with patriotic energy as the community comes out to honor our veterans.
A routine traffic stop in Brubaker County uncovers much more than expected.
And families of Camp Mystic flood victims take legal action. Their allegations against camp operators.
Well, we started off very cold this morning. We got down to 33, but tomorrow morning, not so cold. In fact, it's only going to get down to about 52. So what changed? We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
And 3 Crossroads volleyball teams look to reach the state semifinals later on this week. Find out who did in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker. What a great morning it was for a Veterans Day parade in downtown Victoria. The weather was great. The crowd was tremendous. Sunrise anchor Carolina Ostroine and meteorologist Parker Cox were in the 25 News Now vehicle enjoying the whole moment. Officials tell us there were 71 entries in the parade and an estimated downtown crowd of over 3,000 people. I was extremely honored to be the Grand Marshal of this year's Veterans Day Parade. It was great talking to some of the thousands of people who were lining the streets. Veterans proudly carrying U.S. flags led the way, and to see so many people there for the parade was fantastic. As the proud son of a World War II veteran, it warmed my heart on a beautiful Veterans Day morning. These people always appreciate the sacrifices our veterans made to protect our freedom.
The parade wasn't just about floats. Several school bands hit the streets, filling the air with music. Afterwards, our chief meteorologist, Mac Perez, took the stage to give the crowd a Veterans Day history lesson, explaining how it started as Armistice Day at the end of World War I. But Mac didn't just talk the part. He was decked out in a full World War I soldier uniform, helmet and all. There really was something for everyone at this year's parade and ceremony in downtown. And the community came together for another event to show their respect, the 4th annual Vet Fest.
25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has details on what made this event so special.
Vet Fest is more than just food and music. It's about joy, camaraderie, and fellowship among veterans. Warriors Weekend President Ron Koshin wants veterans to remember that they're appreciated and hasn't forgotten about them.
You look around, everything you have comes to you through the power of Jesus Christ or the American military veteran. Those are the two entities that give you everything you have.
Koshin honors the fallen by participating in roll call and says even after a war, it's never really over for their families.
Their families know that we've never forgotten them and we never will forget them. It's very, very important that we don't forget what the service and sacrifice these people have done.
Military Peer Service Coordinator Oscar Pulido says it's a privilege to be able to celebrate the veterans. He calls himself spirit-led and says the point of Vet Fest is to build connectivity with other veterans.
We want to be able to get people out of isolation and get people out here to be able to be honored and enjoy their day.
Both Koshin and Pulido wants people to remember that Vet Fest is a meaningful gathering that honors veterans and cultivates connection. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
If you're looking for a new job or just a change of careers, especially if you are a veteran, an upcoming job fair could be what you're looking for. The 14th annual Red, White, and U Job Fair will feature about 40 companies and organizations with over 1,000 job openings. Henry Guajardo, Director of Workforce Solutions at the Golden Crescent, says veterans are in high demand in today's job market.
Most employers realize that you can get a dependable, a well-trained individual that is committed to staying on the job. The retention is high among veterans.
The Red, White, and U Job Fair will take place tomorrow from 9:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. inside the Victoria College Emerging Technology Center at 7403 Lone Tree Road. Dress for success and bring your resume. The event is open to the public. And then this evening, Victoria families paid their respects to veterans both fallen and living at a flag retirement ceremony.
And 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting was at that ceremony tonight. He joins us now to share more on its importance. Trenton?
Shawna, Don, you could tell the importance just from the faces of all those who attended, as each flag retired today represented a veteran, as families took worn and torn flags out of commission. And just you can tell how meaningful it was for some of the veterans who were in attendance. Some people prayed, some saluted, and all paid respects as the Warriors Weekend Field of Honor group decommissioned flags properly, respectfully burning the flags and burying the ashes. Colonel Mike Petrosh spoke with me, telling me how important this ceremony is and how impactful it is for veterans and local families.
It's very emotional, when you retire a flag that has flown with honor, especially all the ones that we retired this evening have flown with honor and in honor of a veteran. We had 100 this evening that we retired, and every year we get more and more because people just love doing it.
The event featured a performance of the national anthem, the official songs for each military branch, a keynote speaker, and ended with the playing of taps. Now, as for the flags that have been flying this last month at the Field of Honor, flag sponsors can start picking them up tomorrow. Field of Honor organizers are also looking for volunteers to help take down those flags. Those interested can stop at the Field of Honor from noon to 7 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Trent. And on this Veterans Day, we honor all who served in the military. It is a time to celebrate those who are still with us and a time to remember those who died.
As veteran journalist Bill Clough reports, at least one area cemetery, though, where those who served are laid to rest, appears to be forgotten.
Lots of flags flying today. Lots of people saying, lest we forget. But in more than 20 cemeteries in the city and the county are the graves of veterans mostly unseen. Such as this one. There are more than 60 graves in there, including soldiers, but you couldn't tell it. That bothers this man.
I'm John Tate, past commander of the American Legion, Post 166 here in Victoria.
The graves are scattered throughout cemeteries in the city and the county, mostly neglected.
The Victoria Veterans Council is composed of all the veterans organizations in Victoria County. One of the things we did was took on the task of cleaning up the cemeteries that had veterans buried in them that no one took care of. Every Saturday we would get together and pick 2 or 3 and go clean them up. We'd pick up all the trash, take care of the underbrush, mow them, clean out around the headstones and reset them. Oh, we got too old, and guys started dying off and retiring, and we just could not do it anymore.
The city of Victoria cleaned it up the last time we saw people out here cleaning it up. They pay a contractor to come out and do it.
Except this cemetery isn't in the city. The city only maintains Evergreen Cemetery, and the county, in a written statement,
we didn't want anybody to say thank you or anything else. It's just we owed it to these guys.
Tate says the city and the county should care for the cemeteries. Mowing twice a year is hardly perpetual care. Is there an answer? Maybe not, knowing the logistical and economic pressures on regional governments. There is a unique grave in this cemetery. Charlie Booker served in World War I. WAGR, Wagoneer. Britain shipped more feed to the front than ammunition. Charlie's was an important job. A railroad man, appropriate for a wagoneer. He died in 1979 at the age of 86.
I'm a firm believer that, I get to do what I do every day because of what they do. They pretty much write a blank check for our country. How do you not respect that?
Yet, despite all the flags flying today, some lack that respect, such as Charlie, not quite forgotten this Veterans Day, waiting for a good Samaritan who rarely comes.
Well, it's time now to check on our weather, and quite a change from just 24 hours ago or even this morning. Feels significantly warmer outside.
And it was awesome weather this morning, Mac, for the parade.
Couldn't ask for a nicer day. I mean, everything worked out. I mean, it was chilly early, but then the sun came up and Everything moderated, so we had plenty of sunshine today. Tomorrow morning, it won't be quite as cold. As a matter of fact, we'll only be in the 50s tomorrow morning. Why is that? Well, it's because the south wind came back in. We'll be talking about this coming up in just a moment.
Mike, thank you. Authorities report 3 people here illegally were arrested this morning in Goliad County. The arrests happened in the area of Highway 183 and Old Goliad Road. At first, 2 people were arrested and 1 fled into the brush. The last person was later arrested by Goliad County deputies with the help of ICE agents. 2 of the men are identified as Gerardo Alarcon Garcia and Jose Ayala Salas, both from Mexico. The 3 men were turned over for deportation proceedings. An update on a story we reported Monday. A Lavaca County traffic stop led to the arrest of Juan Alvarez in the 500 block of East 4th Street in Hallettsville. They found he was in this country illegally. Further investigation revealed that Alvarez had an outstanding warrant for homicide out of El Salvador. ICE officials now say Alvarez is a confirmed MS-13 gang member, and the El Salvador arrest warrant lists the murderers connected to the kidnapping, torture, and dismemberment of at least 1 victim.
Cracks, craters, and potholes, oh my. These pesky road hazards do more than just slow you down. They can damage your car, they can hit your wallet, and today we spotted some trouble at Bridge and Trinity Streets. If there's a pothole wreaking havoc on your commute, we want to hear about it. Email us at staff@crossroadstoday.com and let us know if it's causing car trouble for you or if it's just an eyesore. And if you see news happening, give our newsroom a call at 361-576-0026 or send us an email at staff@crossroadstoday.com.
President Trump endorsed Governor Greg Abbott for re-election today. The president praised Abbott for leading this year's effort to redraw the state's congressional maps to favor Republicans during the 2026 midterm elections. Abbott announced his bid for an unprecedented 4th term on Sunday. Abbott thanked Trump for the early endorsement, saying they would work together to, quote, build a stronger, safer, more prosperous Texas and America. Camp Mystic is facing a string of lawsuits filed by several families who lost their daughters in the catastrophic flooding that swamped the Texas Hill Country last summer.
As ABC's Trevor Alt reports, the families claim the girls died because the camp put profit over safety.
Tonight, families of some of the 27 girls and counselors killed at Camp Mystic in those horrific Texas floods, filing multiple lawsuits alleging a disturbing timeline of inaction from camp operators in what they say was an entirely preventable tragedy. They claim on July 4th, when the Guadalupe River rose 26 feet, camp leaders ignored repeated weather warnings and failed to evacuate, ordering campers remain in their cabins for more than an hour while they instead worked to protect equipment. The lawsuit also alleges when counselors sounded the alarm asking for help, operators of the camp told the girls to, quote, put down towels, and only decided to evacuate the children after a gatekeeper in a separate building was washed away. Caitlin Bonner is one of the parents suing. She previously testified about the death of her daughter Lila.
This loss is one no parent should have to endure.
In a statement tonight, the attorney for Camp Mystic says these accusations contain misinformation they'll address in court. And while they empathized with the families, no adequate warning systems existed in the area. The camp says we continue to pray for the grieving families and ask for God's healing and comfort.
Camp Mystic has already announced plans to reopen next year with a memorial for the victims, but some of the victims' families have objected, especially as one of those young girls is still missing. Trevor Alt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, the Supreme Court weighs in on the government shutdown fight, and food assistance for millions hangs in the balance.
Also ahead, flu season arrives early with a dangerous new twist. Why health experts are sounding the alarm for America.
The Supreme Court is giving the Trump administration the green light to keep holding back full food stamp payments for now. The move extends a temporary order as Congress inches closer to a deal to end the government shutdown. SNAP, which helps more than 40 million Americans put food on the table, is at the center of the fight. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's hold on a lower court order requiring full benefits remains in place through Thursday. The House is expected to vote tomorrow on the Senate's funding bill, which could finally bring the shutdown to an end. And with the focus now on the House, GOP leaders believe lawmakers will end the longest U.S. government stalemate in history.
Sherelle Hubbard reports on the funding bill now moving through Congress and what could happen next.
For the millions of Americans feeling the shutdown pain, the end may finally be near. The House is expected to vote on the Senate's deal to end the government shutdown on Wednesday.
The bill as amended is passed.
On Monday night, the Senate voted to approve a funding measure to reopen the federal government. Ahead of the Senate vote, President Donald Trump pledged to sign off on the plan when or if it reaches him.
I'll abide by the deal. The deal is very good.
But not everyone believes that the deal Democrats agreed to, which won't include an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, is a good one.
We should have kept the pressure on.
A small band of Senate Democrats voted with Republicans. They agreed to join the vote without securing their party's demand to guarantee those subsidies, which help millions of Americans afford health insurance. Some on the left raising questions about the Democratic Party's effectiveness going forward.
We can't afford to have a divided opposition party in this moment.
The deal to end the shutdown includes jobs restored for thousands of federal workers fired during the shutdown, protections against mass federal layoffs through the end of the fiscal year, back pay for furloughed workers, and funding for SNAP benefits through the 2026 fiscal year. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The deal does not include the Democrats' push to extend enhanced ACA subsidies expiring this year, but it does promise a future Senate vote. The House has not committed yet.
GOP leaders want to move the funding bill fast, but progress depends on lawmakers making it back to D.C., and that's getting tricky with all of the flight delays caused by the shutdown. There's an important recall tonight involving an entire line of organic baby formula. By Heart is pulling all of its infant formula, including both cans and small anywhere packs, after reports of serious health risks. It is sold at stores nationwide, including H-E-B, Target, and Walmart. The FDA is investigating 15 cases of suspected or confirmed infant botulism linked to the brand, which can cause paralysis in children under 1. Parents are urged to stop using the formula immediately and watch for symptoms like constipation, weakness, or trouble swallowing. So far, no deaths have been reported.
There's a growing concern tonight about this year's flu season.
ABC's Sophie Flay explains why health officials are keeping a close eye on what's happening right now overseas.
This morning, flu cases overseas are raising concerns here at home. The flu season in the UK hitting doctors' offices and hospitals 1 month earlier than usual, with cases 3 times higher than the same time last year. And in Japan, some schools have been forced to close. The reason? A new variant of the flu strain, the H3N2.
We have seen decreasing population-wide vaccination for a variety of reasons. And so you have a more vulnerable population and a more serious strain of the virus. This tells us we could see an increase in cases, hospitalizations, and unfortunately deaths.
Here in the U.S., a record 280 children died from the flu last season, the highest level since 2009. This year, doctors say the government shutdown is posing an extra challenge, with the CDC not updating its data for weeks.
We're starting to see a low rise in places like Georgia and Hawaii, but we're also flying blind because we don't have the same data we once did about flu. So getting that vaccine now to protect against a potentially early flu season is absolutely critical.
The vaccine is recommended for everyone over the age of 6 months, but vaccination rates among children are on the decline, with less than half vaccinated last season, compared to more than 60% before the COVID pandemic. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
To get more news, weather, and sports, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
And to get more weather, here's Mac.
Yes, sirree. We're looking at the current temperature right now at 57 degrees. Our high today was 76 after a chilly 33 this morning. But tomorrow morning will be about 20 degrees warmer, so not quite so cold. We'll be talking about why that's happening and take a look at the rest of the week coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. Obviously, we talked about the chilly morning that we had, but tomorrow everything's a little different because as of today, we started picking up that south wind first, that frontal system that came through, I think it was Sunday morning with that 40-mile-an-hour wind that blew away. And now the Gulf air is rolling back in, and that's milder air, a little bit more humidity in the air, and that's why several things are changing for us. Tomorrow afternoon, being your Wednesday, we're going to pick up a little bit of a stronger sea breeze during the afternoon hours. So nothing significant, but probably in about the 25-mile-an-hour range, and that will continue all the way into this weekend. Earlier, I was pretty excited about a big storm on the West Coast. I'll tell you about it in a moment. The red flag warning that we had is also down, and that's because of the increased humidity. So that sort of helps out. These advisories that you see down here are small craft advisories for the boaters, so they need to watch out because the onshore wind will be with us and it'll be fairly strong. Now tonight, down to 54, 53, something like that. Nothing. What a difference. I mean, it may not even need to turn the heater on tonight. The coastal areas, you can see, will be in the low 60s because they're obviously closer to the warmer Gulf water. Well, tomorrow, another gorgeous day, a little bit more cloud cover because we're going to have some of that moisture rolling back in. So we're looking at about 82 for the city. Now, here's the big picture. Okay, this is the big storm that brought the snow to the east. Okay, that is pulling off to shore. This is the one that I was excited about. I'm going, okay, this is going to be good. Look at it developing, dropping down, and then right here it's supposed to turn the corner and head just due east and then hit us with big rain. Didn't happen. What happened is the storm sort of splits. So this part of it goes into the upper Midwest. You see it there. It does bring us a lot of moisture for some light showers, but the bulk of the energy is still back here. And as we go all the way to Tuesday of next week, you can see it's still parked out there. So we're going to have to wait till that moves until we get a real big pattern change so that we can get something that looks like real rainfall around here. Otherwise, tomorrow, not a bad looking day, looking for more clouds, a little bit more humidity, and definite southeast wind, getting up to 81 down along the coast, 83 in the inland areas. Oh, somebody asked me, what are these things? Well, that's the moon, because at 6 a.m., no sun, and that's the moon because at 6 p.m. the sun goes down early, so it's a shorter day, so the calendar gets a little shorter. As you can see, we're going to be warming up to the mid-80s right on through. Saturday, Sunday, we pick up a little bit of cloud cover, a little hope for a shower or two here, and maybe with luck, that little tail end of that front will come through with a slight chance of moisture, but that's about as exciting as I can make things. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. So is it volleyball, basketball, or football?
Mac, we are going to talk about football with the Cuero Gobblers as they're opening up their first round playoff matchup versus La Feria Lions. We'll preview this matchup next. Tonight we had 3 teams looking to reach the state semifinals in volleyball. And first, we're going to start with last year's 3A Division I state runner-ups in Goliad as they face the London Pirates tonight. Tigerettes dominated, winning in straight sets, 25-15, 25-19, and then 25-12. Addison Yendry, as usual, led the team in kills with 14, and Isabel Sanchez helped, having 35 assists. So again, helped on the offensive side as well for Sanchez. Now, after this massive win, we had a chance to talk with offensive star Addison Yendry and Sanchez and their head coach Jess Odom about this big-time victory and how they feel going to the state semifinals.
Every single game, I'm hoping I can end the game on a high. I always try to play my best, finish, terminate on every single set I get, so that felt really good, being able to finish the game like that.
I think just resetting our minds when we called that timeout, we knew we had to get it together. I think next week we're really focused on not letting the other team get little runs and just staying on top the whole time.
Seeing the girls go out there and execute what we've worked on is just, as a coach, you can't ask for better. So momentum can come from anybody. It's not on one single person's shoulders. It's everybody putting in their part.
Now, Odom and Goliad will face the Grandview Zebras in the state semifinals. It'll be Saturday at 4 p.m. at Waco High School. Now, with Industrial Lady Cobras, they're the same as Goliad. They're trying to see if they can reach the state semifinals, and they faced last year's 3 Division II champions in the Stockdale Brahmas at Yoakum High School. And the Cobras, they would fought hard and win the first set 25-20, but Stockdale, they showed their experience. They won the last 3 sets. They're in the loss there for the Cobras as they lost their 3-1. And Carly Stanish led the way with 12 kills and 22 digs. And Ava Collins had 23 assists and 8 digs there in the loss. So Gratz, still a great season for the Lady Cobras, reaching all the way to the regional finals. And how about the Shiner Lady Comanches? They look to reach the state semifinals for back-to-back years. And the Comanches, they won in a 5-set thriller, winning 3-2 and winning that 5th set in very close fashion, 17-15 there in a thriller. They're going to face the Iola Bulldogs in the state semifinals. And that game looks to be a Saturday as well, so figuring out the time and place for that matchup. Now to the first round of football playoffs, where the Cuero Gobblers are hosting the LaFeria Lions this Friday night at Gobbler Stadium. And both of these teams met up in the first round of the postseason last year, and Cuero would win 83-20 out at LaFeria Stadium. But the Gobblers this year, they still have offensive threats in Jackson Marie, Walker Dietz, and keep an eye on defense and Aiden Strecker, see if he can make some big-time plays. But for Cuero, if they want to make a deep run in this postseason, their defense has to step up the rest of the way. And if they do win for Cuero here on Friday night, they'll either face the Bandaria Bulldogs or the Gonzales Apaches. That'll be in the area round. Now over to the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks fired general manager Nico Harrison on Tuesday. His dismissal comes after Harrison shocked the sports world in general when he traded away fan favorite Luka Doncic to the Lakers in February, which I'm still puzzled by why he kind of did that there as the decision there for the Mavericks. But their owner there, Patrick Dumont, addressed Harrison's firing in a letter to fans. He says it was responsibility to act with the team. Results don't meet expectations. So heading into Tuesday night's action, Dallas was 3-8 record near the bottom of the Western Conference. So they're hoping to maybe turn around with a new GM who they're going to figure out the rest of the way. And shout out here for you, Don. Just heard some information about the Houston Cougars, #1 out there in men's basketball there for the AP poll. So officially they're seeing if they play. I believe they play tomorrow. Is that right, Don? And do you think, how do you feel about Houston getting #1 right now?
It's great. Even better in April. But I'll take it in November. It's a young team with 2 freshmen in the starting lineup, but long way to go. So I'm not counting my sheep just yet. All right, thank you, Max, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, an iconic piece of Hollywood history goes up for auction, and the price tag could break records.
Tonight on Jimmy Kimmel Live. You're going to do it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be triplets. And it's going to be the 3 of us. And we all look different. And Danny's little. I'm big and you're the black one,
The yellow brick road could turn golden. The iconic Wicked Witch of the West hat worn in the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz is hitting the auction block soon. Heritage Auction is selling the black wool hat on December 9th. It's 14 inches tall with a 19.5-inch brim and an elastic chin strap. The Wicked Witch's hat sold for nearly $3 million last year, but memorabilia experts think its value is much higher now. Last year, Heritage Auctions sold a pair of Dorothy's ruby slippers from the film for $28 million.
Those are some fancy shoes.
Were they even leather?
Those shoes aren't in Kansas anymore.
No.
I don't
You can
think
buy
so.
Kansas with those shoes.
Better be like Swarovski crystal or something.
And what did we say? I'll get you, my pretty. It was pretty iconic. Folks, tomorrow morning won't be quite as cold as it was this morning. We're only getting down to about 52. Warming weather is going to make it feel a little summer-like there, or even spring-like, as we get all the way to the weekend. Hopefully a little front will come with a slight chance for rain, but that's not till about Monday or Tuesday of next week.
All right, we're warming up fast, and a 94-year-old man has joined a speed Rubik's Cube club in Buffalo, New York. Wow. He's inspiring kids while chasing a world record. Frank Zeminski brought an old hobby from the 1970s to the Buffalo Speed Cube Club. The club's youngest member is just 8 years old with a median age of 9. I'm sure he brings that up a little bit, but Zeminski uses his own handwritten cheat sheet to solve the puzzle. Is that okay to do?
Sure.
I don't know. There's a
It's
cheat
okay with
sheet.
me, whatever
I don't know.
cheat sheet that is.
But when he was 50, so 40 years ago, he completed it in 2 minutes. Now he aims for under 5 minutes. If he succeeds at a January competition, he will set a new world record for his age group.
Man.
And that's incredible. So my 16-year-old daughter can flip the Rubik's Cube and solve it in about 30 seconds. I don't know how. It's amazing. But I don't know how they do the new ones. So they have the 2x2 and they have the triangle shape. And
But can your daughter do this 74 years later? Yeah, that's
we'll have to see. I don't know. Ask me in 74 years.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.